Today we're going to be working on installing a backup camera on my car. Now, I'm working on a BMW E90, but no matter which car you're working on, generally the process is going to be pretty similar. You're going to want to get the camera installed, make sure that the wiring is appropriate, which I'll be covering in this video, so stay tuned for that. And from there, it's just a matter of making sure you can tuck the wires up to the head unit and connect it successfully. Now in my case, I've been using an Enon head unit without any video signal to the backup camera, so when I pop it in reverse, nothing happens. I just get a black screen on my head unit. The part that I'll be installing today is actually a trunk latch that has a backup camera embedded into it. So stay tuned while we go over how to install and wire this camera. We'll be getting started by removing these 8 plastic clips holding this cover in, and then it'll just be a matter of removing the trunk latch, replacing with a new one, and then wiring the new trunk latch with the backup camera wiring into this rubber grommet down here in the bottom right.
All right, so we got the old trunk latch out and the new one in. Not a big fan of the way it fit. It's a little loose if you take a look. Whoops. So not a big fan of that, but it seems to be the best we've got, and I'll be happy to run it, give it a shot, see what happens. Need to feed in this wire into the bundle of wires that it came with, and then route that down into there, and from there I'll be on the inside of the car sending the line up to the front of the car.
Now as you watch this next portion, you may be thinking, well, Falcon's Landing, what are you doing with this thing? What's taken so long? In this scenario, I used a magnet that was definitely too large to fit into this rubber grommet. If I could go back in time to this very moment, I definitely would have used a coat hanger, which you'll see me doing later on in the video.
After bouncing back between reading forum posts and intently staring at my trunk, I think I've got the solution to this. The wiring was a little trickier than I thought. There's some issues with tapping into the positive directly from the reverse light. What we'll be doing instead is we'll be using a relay. This is just something that I grabbed at O'Reilly's today. And then a inline fuse holder. I think 30 amps is definitely overkill, but I'm not too concerned about it. What we'll end up doing here is tap into the signal wire of the reverse light, which is going to be this. Let's see if we can get it to focus. The far right wire that you see in this picture here. Tested to see which of those wires was live when it went into reverse with one of these guys. It's just a standard voltage tester to see what's live. That seems to be the one. According to other forum posts, it's also been leveraged successfully. So we'll be tapping into that, feeding it through the rubber boot again, right there. Feeding that guy straight into the rubber boot. Have him come down to a relay by the battery, and then connect the relay to all the other components as well. So what's going to be connecting to this is positive, the remote signal or the signal wire, which is coming from the reverse light, the negative, as well as the camera positive. So we'll go ahead and tap that wire in and bring it down. All right, so we've got everything wired up to the relay. A quick overview of how we've got this set up. So, where's my little receipt? Probably saw this in the video. But essentially, each relay has a number associated with it. So 30 goes to the battery, positive battery. 85 is ground. I put the camera ground and the relay ground there. Reverse light signal is 86, and then the camera positive is 87. So you can kind of get a feel for how that was set up. Right here is the reverse signal. Above that is the camera positive. Next to that is the ground to the battery, or ground to the chassis, including the camera ground. And then down here at the bottom we have the positive. What I'm going to do before I jump into putting everything back away is I'm going to go ahead and go to the front of the car and have the head unit pulled out and go ahead and plug this RCA cable into the head unit to get a feel as to whether or not it even works before I get to tucking everything away. We've got the relay all hooked up. The RCA cable is right here. I don't actually know where this positive wire is supposed to go, but we'll give it a shot, see what happens. I pop this into reverse. The camera should come on. Do you think the car needs to be... Oh, never mind. Oh, look at that. We've got video of the ceiling, which is exactly what we'd hope for. We went ahead and routed the RCA cable to the back of this through the glove compartment. You can see where those USB cables are coming out. I just fed it right back in. It goes behind the glove box, around the edge. It's tucked up in behind this plastic trim, all the way to the back. Tucked up under there. It's actually under the rear seat. Let's see if we can catch it here. It's tucked up right behind that, tucked under right behind where those two interior trim pieces connect. Then it goes up and over, but everything's connected. We'll act like we never saw that mess of cables behind the head unit. I like to imagine it's not there, so you should do the same. But we'll go ahead and give it one final test to make sure everything's working as is expected. If all's well, we'll see another picture of the ceiling because the trunk's open, in case you're wondering. Just to show that the button's still working after the camera install. Got the camera there, button worked, and we're all tidied up. Some of the big things to note in this job is if you're going to do it, go ahead and get the relay, get everything that you need to get it done in advance. So the relay, an inline fuse kit, and the camera, and make sure that the camera has long enough cable to make it to the front. Don't cut corners. This is going to be a tedious job. Take your time and make sure that you're doing everything right. I'll post a picture here of the terminals and where the terminals on the relay and where they should go. But with that said, if you do plan on tackling the job, good luck.